Stand by to receive our transmission.
Where are you boys from in the world?
Alabama, sir.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Welcome to the Bama Geeks podcast. We are four friends diving into our favorite pop culture topics with a dash of Southern charm.
We have the tools, we have talent. It's Miller time.
Whoa, this is heavy.
Pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
Wait, what? Crazy? You didn't say I was crazy.
You got the wrong guy. I'm the dude, man.
You want something done, you've got to do it yourself.
Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes!
So grab your biscuits and gravy, a glass of sweet tea, and enjoy the nerdy hospitality of Brock and Jessica Parker, Bo Bearden, and Kevin Gardner.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Hey, it's us. It's the Bama Geeks. It's episode 11. We have made it 22 weeks. How do we know that? Because we record every other week. And 11 times 2 is 22. I can math tonight. Thank you.
Oh, man. We're throwing math in here now? Oh, jeez.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm Brock. Thanks so much for joining us. And as always, my friends, my besties, who you be again?
It's Jessica.
Hey, it's Kevin.
And Bo.
And we are joining you on a wonderful Sunday night, even though you're probably hearing this on a Wednesday. And that's okay.
Happy Wednesday.
Yeah, early.
Hump day!
It is Wednesday, my dudes.
Oh.
Mike. No, we're not getting into that commercial.
No.
So, yeah, if you heard the beginning of our last episode, I had to stick a little intro on there at the beginning saying, hey, yeah, we know the Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer dropped. It's just habit with us. We record on Sundays and Sony releases something great about Ghostbusters on Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know, the day before our episodes drop. So we're going to join you 2 weeks late talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. We're going to talk to you about the trailer. We're going to talk to you about the toys that Hasbro has brought out and whatever we can think of to talk about with Ghostbusters Afterlife. We're definitely going to hit on that because we are all massive Ghostbusters fans. We're part of the Alabama Ghostbusters, have been for years. But before we do that, we're going to chit-chat, find out what everybody's been up to the last couple of weeks. Jess and I went to Atlanta Comic-Con yesterday, Saturday, and then Bo and Kevin have watched Suicide Squad this weekend. Jess and I did not because we were in Atlanta all day and didn't want to go anywhere today because we are really old and could not move.
We're really tired.
Dragon Con is going to kill us this year. And we'll also talk about Dragon Con, about some things coming up for that. So, guys, what's been happening the last couple of weeks with you?
I guess for me, I really haven't been too much. Just been playing a few games as always. But like I said, I don't know if y'all saw it. I talked about it on my Facebook. But recently fell down a rabbit hole. I've been rewatching the 90s animated MTV show Daria, which as I go back, like, when that show came on, I watched it because I was like, oh, cool. You know, the character from Beavis and Butthead got her own spinoff thing, which it's completely nothing like Beavis and Butthead,
right?
Which is a good thing. Like, the crazy thing about it, I know is very geared towards teenage girls of that era. But of course, I wasn't intended the audience, but I watched it. I was like, you know, it wasn't for me, but I watched some of it. But I've recently rewatched it. I found a stream that does it like, it's like the old recordings of it. So it's still got the original licensed music it had in it.
Oh, okay.
Some of the old commercials with it. But I've been watching it, and like for a show that was not geared anything towards me, like I really enjoyed it. A lot of Daria's snarky and very, very, what was it? I want to say her nihilistic humor is very good. And
yeah.
Also watching it though is I'm like, oh my gosh, that girl was that girl I knew in high school. That girl was that girl I knew in high school. And then also I identify with the parents because like their dad, while he come off very neurotic as when I was younger. Now I'm watching him. He's very neurotic, but he's trying his darndest to connect with his two teenage daughters.
It's very relatable now.
Yeah. Well, like one of the comments was one of the things that made me just get a good laugh. I mean, it's kind of also, it was very ahead of its time joke, but I like it. the next door neighbor, Daria's friend Jane, her brother, which Daria has a crush on. I know I'm going Daria fan talk here for y'all, but anyway,
one of the
spoilers.
20+-year-old spoilers. Her brother, which I cannot remember. I know a lot of girls are like, what was his brother's name? Either way, girl was coming to the door. Well, the dad was expecting Quinn, Daria's other sister, which she was the popular cute girl that all guys dated. So he assumed it was her. One of her dates at the door. He opens the door. He goes, I must not know my daughter. Which I was like, okay, that's funny, but that's what I've been up to.
I've always said if they ever did anything live action with Daria, that Aubrey Plaza is.
Perfect.
But there is also, there is some type of a video out there of her being Daria and like a
Funny or Die did a sketch.
Yes, that's it. Funny or Die.
It was like a reunion.
Yeah, Aubrey Plaza, hands down, would be the best live action choice for Daria. I've always said.
Mm-hmm. She would be a good choice.
I'm trying to remember what the brother's name was too, and I can't remember.
I know, that's so sad.
It either. It's been a while. I mean, I watched Daria quite a bit back then, but and here and there I've caught some episodes, but I should revisit that as well too.
Yeah, I never watched it. I just watched her when she was on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. Which, speaking of which,
guess what I fell asleep to last night? I found a 5-hour stream of them just taunting old music videos.
Just the video
YouTube.
portion, yeah.
At 5 hours worth, and I fell asleep to it last night.
Well, that's what got me in the rabbit hole. I started watching that stream for Beavis and Butthead, and then I got roped into Daria. So that's how it worked out. Beavis and Butthead, even though it's amazing it made it on TV back then, it is still ridiculously hilarious.
Oh, it's a great show. I loved that show as a teenager. So, Kev, what have you been up to, man?
Well, Bo fell down the rabbit hole of Daria. I fell back down the rabbit hole of virtual reality. So I've had a virtual reality system in my living room in several different places that I've lived. And
it's fun.
Yeah, it's super cool. I think most everybody on this podcast has played either mine or a virtual reality of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a really good opportunity to upgrade the computer. And if anyone has been doing any computer shopping or trying to build a computer lately, graphics card prices are insane. I know that's affecting Bo a lot. He hasn't been able to upgrade his computer. So I managed to get a really nice upgrade, several generations newer than what I currently have. And I have as I mentioned, I have fallen back down the rabbit hole of VR, doing different games throughout the spectrum. And VR is while it is not as hot as it was when it was the thing, when the HTC Vive was out and the PlayStation VR was out, it is still a pretty hot property. And it's there are a lot of really, really nice games out there. I found myself earlier playing a version of Minecraft. It was like Minecraft, but it was Minecraft was one of those games that I always thought would work really well for VR.
Mm-hmm.
And they did do their best to convert Minecraft over to VR, but this is a game that was built from the ground up to be for VR. That's like Minecraft. And guys, I got into this game, and this doesn't only happen to me because I usually stay pretty grounded. I got lost in the game, and I was just like, I will unabashedly say that I bumped into the hearth in the living room a couple of times because I forgot that I was not. I mean, the immersion factor in this game, which you're in a video game, but it's just like the way that they built it. It just feels like you're there.
Yeah.
With butterflies flying around and the way everything moves, it's really easy to lose yourself in it. And it was really nice to be able to do VR again, and actually with a newer computer that had the ability to fool me again. So I've been doing, at least this weekend, I've been doing quite a bit of virtual reality. So yeah, it's been fun.
Nice.
No, we can't wait to come back down and play it then.
Yeah.
The last time we were down at Kevin's house, Jess and I both were doing the VR, and I got into the Google Maps or Google Earth and was just looking around, foreign lands, and it was incredible. I got so enamored just by Google Earth. I mean, the games were fun, but standing in the middle of the village that represents Arendelle from Frozen was really cool. And I'm like, hey, we're here. Where's Olaf? Come on.
Guys, just to kind of expand on that a little bit, Jessica and I were treated to, what do you say, Jessica? It was probably about 45 minutes of Brock, of him zooming around Disney. Going, oh my God, this is where this is.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wait, give me a second, guys. Let me zoom in and see if I can see that particular sign on the side of the building. and me and Jessica are like,
well, he took us to Texas where he was in the Air Force and was showing us around there too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we were treated to a lot of Brock's places he's been in his life.
Well, you know, it's the same way with Microsoft Flight Simulator, isn't it? Which is, I've downloaded it when it first came out on PC. I joined the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, and so I had free access to Microsoft Flight Sim, and I've been doing that sim for years. Mm-hmm. I mean, going back to high school, and it just recently again came out on Xbox One, and so. I do the same thing with that. I jump in an airplane and I take off and I fly to Disney World, and then I fly to Texas, and then I fly over my old house back in South Alabama. It's
hey Brock.
I have no life.
I just want to say that's also in VR.
So nice. Cam's gonna be like, it's been 3 hours to get out of my house.
You guys got to be going.
Didn't you bring board games? Come on, man.
I just like the catapulting and exploding and blowing up things. So, yeah.
Oh, that game is fun.
Guys, I have so many more. So, yeah, we'll definitely have to get together here soon and do that and try to figure out a way to wrap an episode of Bama Geeks around it. That would be hilarious.
Oh, we can do that. We can do that. Well, Jess and I have not been up to much. I had my kids the week that the last episode was released. I had my kids here, and I took them up to Chattanooga, to Lookout Mountain, to Ruby Falls, and Rock City. They'd been to Chattanooga before, but they'd never been there, so I took them up there for that. We sat around the house a lot.
I had to work.
Yeah, she had to work late, so. And then last week, just back at work, we've really been up to nothing. We went to see Jungle Cruise in the theater when the kids were here. Fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it yet, definitely a good Pirates of the Caribbean feel to it.
Right.
Extremely good movie.
It wasn't what I was expecting, which was nice. Mm-hmm. And you get that, the Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean vibe to it.
And
so
you get the puns. If you've ridden Jungle Cruise down at Disney, you get the puns, and they are wonderful.
Yeah.
And Kevin is a lover of puns and dad jokes. He is a connoisseur. Oh, yeah. And so Jungle Cruise is right up his alley for sure. And, Bo and I being dads, it's right up our alley too.
Yeah.
But good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
So we really hadn't done much anything the last couple of weeks until yesterday on Saturday. We got up at 5:30 in the morning and got up and got ready, left by 6:30.
Mm-hmm. Because we had to go to Buc-ee's so we could get breakfast.
Surprise.
Yeah.
But so we stopped there. We got food to go, and then made our way to the Georgia World Congress Center where they had Atlanta Comic-Con. This is the first time that Jess and I had been since 2018. Mm-hmm. Bo went in 2019 because the original Turtles voice cast was there.
Yep.
We went in 2018 because Matthew Lewis, who played Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter, was there. Mm-hmm. So we took, and Charles Martinet, who was, the voice of Mario. So we took the kids to that one.
I got to meet Leah Thompson and Sean Astin at that one too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Made me think. I don't know about you guys. I don't know how it was for you. When I wound up. I stopped off at the completely wrong end of the World Congress Center and pretty much walked 8 miles to the other end where the convention was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did the same thing. Yeah,
that building is ridiculously massive.
Yes,
that is a big building. I know they built it for when the Olympics was going on, so that makes sense. But good Lord, that is a big building.
It's almost a whole city in itself. Yeah, huge.
But that's where we also went to Walker Stalker Con. Mm-hmm. I think the last time it was there.
Yeah.
It was in Building B.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta Comic Con was in Building C. And
we came in through Building A.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it.
But it was better than walking outside. It was nice to walk in the air, you know. But we got there, and the reason we went was Jodie Benson, the voice of Ariel from The Little Mermaid. Already well documented my love of The Little Mermaid. We're not getting into why again.
Yeah.
But she was there. That was the second time that we got to meet her. And she was delightful as always. That was my birthday present this year again from Jess. 2019, Jodie Benson was my birthday present when we went to Fanboy Expo. This year, same thing.
It all lines up perfectly. I mean, in the same way, last year, before everything got canceled in 2020, she was going to be at Atlanta Comic-Con last year, and it was pretty much going to be the same thing. Hey, you want me to buy your, ticket and your photo op and your autograph? That's my birthday present to you. And then, like we know with everything in 2020, canceled.
I'm thinking Jodie Benson is going to be my forever birthday gift from here on out, which is okay. I will not complain. I love that lady. She is a sweetheart.
Can't say you're not easy to shop for. So,
yeah.
Well, all right then.
Why is it every time we have this podcast, somebody decides to rev their engines and go right by our door? Oh well.
I had mine muted, but I had a Harley drive by, like 2 of them, like back to back.
I'd rather hear the Harley than this dump truck that decides to rev its engine and think it's something really nice. But anyway, so we got a really nice surprise last week when they were doing. They had Bruce Boxleitner was supposed to be there, but he had to back out. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, Atlanta Comic-Con says, "Hey, we've got more guests coming." And the first one that popped up that just sent me over the moon was Judith Hoag, April O'Neil from the 1990 original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. And I love April O'Neil. She's a reporter. I'm a former TV reporter. She's a redhead. I love them redheads. So it just works. So Judith was announced, and that was a bonus. Jess had gotten me, the photo op for Jodie, and we were going to do the autograph. Even though I've got Jodie's autograph on like 5 different things in this house, I was going to get another Jodie autograph. I nixed that and decided to go with a photo op with Judith Hoag, which I'm extremely happy we went that direction. Yeah. Like I said, I love Jodie. This was our first time meeting Judith. That lady is an absolute delight. If you get a chance to meet her at a convention, which you will in October here in Birmingham, she's coming to Alabama Comic-Con. And
she's also going to be in Mississippi, the Mississippi Comic-Con too. So if you're close to that area too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Or has that one already, that one hasn't already happened, has it?
Has it? No. Has it? I don't know.
I can't remember. But we got up to her table, got up to her, and all of a sudden she starts complimenting Jess, how cute she is, because Jess is wearing like a Little Mermaid dress that's really, really cute. Jess looks great in it.
Thanks.
And she's wearing that, and so Judith starts talking to her, and then starts asking about us. And our marriage, and then the whole conversation went totally out the window from geek stuff to marriage.
Yeah.
She started talking about her marriage, with us. I guess she's on her second one, so she was telling us all about her husband and,
how they met.
And she's living now closer to the East Coast instead of LA. So she's almost in our neighborhood. She doesn't live far from here, which is really cool. So she was telling Jess, "You look cute. Y'all are adorable. You're such a cute couple." And then she started talking about her husband having bald hair, not bald hair, but just being bald. If you're bald, you don't have hair. And Jess was like, well, he's got Brock has gotten this gray hair and he's always paranoid. And she's like, "Your hair is sexy. I love your gray hair."
She said this whole silver fox thing,
So
April O'Neil said you were sexy, Bart.
April O'Neil was hitting on my husband.
So I'm okay with this. It happens never. So I'm okay with this. Jess always gets the compliments because Jess is just freaking adorable. Because she's short and she's cute and she's bubbly. And me, I'm just over here, I'm not even a good arm decoration for her most of the time. So
stop it,
Judith Hogue. Yeah, thank you. Love it. So anyway,
yes, have some.
Yes, please. So it was wonderful. She is a doll. She talked to us for about 10 minutes at her table. And even though the line was forming, she was taking about that much time with everybody. Mm-hmm. It was a wonderful experience meeting her. And after the photo op, after we got finished talking to her and everything, we told her, hey, we're going to see you in October when you come to Birmingham. Mm-hmm. And she's like, fantastic. I said, we'll see you at your photo op. And she goes, okay, great. So we go over to the photo op and we're the last people in the line. Usually at a photo op, it's okay, no chit chatting, get out of here.
Yeah.
They're herded like cattle.
Yeah. Well, there was nobody else after us. There was nobody else scheduled for the photo op immediately after. Mm-hmm. So after the photo op, we get another quite a few minutes where they're standing in the photo booth, just chit chatting back and forth. She's like, okay, so when I get to Birmingham, where do I need to eat?
Yeah.
And so she's like, we're going to be staying downtown near the BJCC. And where do I need to go? And so we started telling her these places. And so we told her about the Southern Kitchen and Bar, which is a great place right next to the BJCC. Fantastic food. So she probably won't hear this podcast, but I think we're going to make a concerted effort and hope you guys will join us in trying to convince her that if she brings her husband, hey, let us take you out to dinner over here at the Southern. You don't have to get in anybody's car. You don't have to get in anybody's car. You're just going to walk up here. We'll treat y'all to dinner. You're fresh, new, living in the South. Let us show you some of that Alabama hospitality.
Yeah. We're going to give it a shot.
Yeah. Because
don't hurt to ask.
No. And she is that outgoing. She might. I mean, she was phenomenal.
I mean, she was just wrap her arms around you, just, hey, come on, Lynn, let's talk, let's chat, let's.
And I'm like, and you're, welcome to the South. You are one of us now.
Yeah.
Brock, did she call you her little darling?
No, she did not.
the only thing, like, if this actually becomes possible, that's going to be something I wish I could do a time travel so I could go back and tell 8-year-old me that at one point you have had dinner with Winston and April O'Neil.
Hey, and we almost had dinner with Shaft and Foxy Brown.
That's true.
Back in 2010 when we first had dinner with Ernie.
Yeah.
And Slimer from Ghostbusters 2.
Exactly. Yeah. And of course, Slimer. Yes.
Robin. Yeah.
I don't know. The places you will go.
Yeah, no kidding.
Just wanted you to know that when you get older, you've made it.
Yeah. In some ways, you have completed your dream.
Well, it was just, it only feels right to extend the invitation. Hey, we're right here. We're right next door to this place. Let us take you out, you and your husband, an agent, whoever. Let's take you out to dinner or lunch, whatever. Just because you're now in the South. We got Southern hospitality. Mm-hmm. And that is how friendly the conversations were with her. You know, not just about April or not just about the turtles or acting or whatever. We went over a few subjects.
When we didn't just limit to this to who she is as what she plays a part in the movie. It was almost like talking to somebody you would just run just casually run into another human being. So totally.
That's one of the few things people forget when you meet these celebrities or people, actors or whatever. At the end of the day, that's their job, to make people happy. But also, they're people too. So
Yeah.
I mean,
she is personable. So this is an advertisement for Alabama Comic-Con. I believe it's the second weekend in October.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Come and meet Judith. Judith is absolutely personable. She's fantastic. She is a sweetheart. I got more out of that conversation than I was ever expecting. She's phenomenal. So, yeah. Definitely come to Alabama Comic-Con, the BJCC. We'll be there with the Alabama Ghostbusters and On Our Own and everything else. So, come see her.
Yeah, you will not be disappointed.
Not at all. Not at all. And Alabama Comic-Con is a great convention to begin with. Mm-hmm. We've been a few times and have a great time. So, it's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she, when we were standing in line, she was running a little late to get there. So, of course, Brock had...
she put in her Instagram and Facebook stories. Her sign said she was supposed to be there at 11:15. I think she posted at 10:30 in her Instagram and Facebook stories. Hey, Atlanta, I'm rolling out of bed and coming down there. Fast forward to 11:45, 11:50. She's not there yet.
Of course, Brock has to go, Judith Hoag's got 30 seconds.
And sure enough, about a minute later, she walked out.
Not that we were going to leave or anything, but the opportunity presented itself, to quote that.
Yeah.
While we were standing in line.
She was running awfully close to Jodie's panel, which Jodie, every time she does a panel, she sings Part of Your World for the audience at the end of it after her Q&A. And I did not want to miss that because, Jodie singing Part of Your World. Got to hear it every time. So, but no, she made it. We made it to the panel on time. And yeah, come to Alabama Comic-Con. I'm telling you, meeting her, you will not be disappointed. Mm-hmm. She has got so much personality. She's so fun. And
you can get 2 Aprils now. With the most recent announcements, you'll get 2 Aprils at the Alabama Comic-Con this year.
Yeah, Renee Jacobs, who did the voice of the cartoon, April, was going to be there. So, yeah, I've already got, I recently got the Super 7 April O'Neil Ultimate figure. I wanted to get my NECA April O'Neil figure signed, the cartoon by Renee, but I'm going to keep that in the box for now because I'll eventually break it out. I really will. It's worth a lot of money right now, and
it's a good looking figure though. It's really good looking figure.
It's fantastic, and I would want to have Renee sign that. But then they got the Ultimate Super 7 April O'Neil in here last week. I had it pre-ordered for over a year, and it finally showed up. So I'm going to have her sign that one instead. Sign that figure box. So yeah, 2 Aprils. The NECA standard April O'Neil figure from the movie, the one that is of Judith, should be shipping by the time the con hits, which I really hope.
Yeah.
But they also released they released a limited edition of 2000, the Signature Series. They're calling it the Ultimate April O'Neil figure. NECA's releasing these, and it's got an autographed press pass.
Yeah.
Signed by Judith. That's included with these, along with everybody started complaining, I got to pay $60 extra for a yellow raincoat, but it comes with a couple of different accessories plus Judith's signature on a card.
Yeah, and Brock had the opportunity. He did want talk to her about the NECA figure and thanking her for all the work that she's done with NECA and putting that together and being a part of that.
Yeah, and she told us some behind the scenes stuff.
Oh, cool.
With that, and potentially more April O'Neil 1990 figures on the way. Different variations. She wore different outfits, so hopefully we'll get some more of those. But if you haven't seen any of her stuff leading up to the NECA figure reveal, go look at her YouTube channel. It's called Judith Hoag Goddess on Fire, and she's got a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff that she worked hand-in-hand with NECA to get that figure made. And it's a great-looking figure, and she was hands-on.
Yeah.
So I think we've gushed over Judith enough, but not really. But we'll move on. Atlanta Comic-Con, it's in a big open area, lots of social distancing. Atlanta has a mask mandate right now. You think that people would adhere to that, but no. It was about a 50-50 shot of wearing a mask. We did put on our masks, even though it was really difficult trying to walk around the vendors area with that mask on, because I still have not found a surefire way to avoid my glasses fogging up. And I'm just like, I'm having to, move my glasses up and down when nobody's around and kind of pull my mask down a second so I can actually see in the distance what's happening. Oh, and I got to tell you this. They had this vendor.
Oh, I think I know what you're about to talk about.
Normally, when you go to conventions, you go to the dealer's room and you find decent deals. You're not finding eBay prices everywhere. You're finding people who are selling vintage figures, and there's a little bit of a markup. I mean, they got to make their money. They're small businesses.
Yeah.
Totally fine. This guy, we walked up, I saw a sealed in box Eternia playset from Masters of the Universe. Sealed in the box from the 80s. I'm like, that's cool. I've seen one. It was incomplete. Where did we saw that?
At Full Circle.
Full Circle Toys. I forget the price that they had on it.
They weren't actually selling theirs. I think their sign said that it wasn't for sale. It was just for display. And it wasn't complete either.
Well, that was a shame.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it said.
Well, this guy, we walked around. I said, oh, look, a sealed Eternia playset. Let's see how much he's wanting for it. boy, howdy, this guy does not know how to be a dealer at a convention. Because who in the world walks around with $30,000 in their pocket?
I'm sure he expected, hey, this is Atlanta. There's some nerd with, an impulse buy to spend $30K.
That's shooting for some pretty high.
Yeah,
hopes
no,
there.
I'm not justifying it.
Oh, I know.
Just saying that's,
So, Brock, you're telling me you didn't have your checkbook, right?
I haven't had a checkbook in years. It's okay.
Oh, we can write the check. Writing the check's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's clearing the bank where there's going to be an issue.
Not going
Make
to
sure it's made of rubber.
Yeah, not going to jail for doing that's a different story.
$30K.
Yeah.
And his whole selling point was on the sticky note that he had on the front. $30,000. AFA graded 7 point something sealed, and I'm like, no.
Who in their right mind? If you knew you valued it at $30K, why would you even bring it to a convention in the first place? I mean, even if you found somebody there, why would you risk having something that you feel is worth $30,000 at a convention full of people who could potentially just knock it over or pick it up and drop it or something like that?
I told Brock it's all for the people just walking around going, $30,000 for that. That's probably, it's the show of it. It's all it is.
Well,
it's a show of it.
It actually might be smart marketing because somebody went, hey man, you won't believe this? They got a toy over here for $30,000. Oh, I don't believe you. And then they walk over there and see it.
Yeah, exactly.
On a good day, that place that may be worth $3,000 to $4,000 sealed.
Yeah.
30,000. Oh, let us continue on this journey with this vendor. In a glass case, he had several of the original 1970s Star Wars figures on the cards, mint on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
He had a Jawa and he had Boba Fett. Guess how much he wanted for Boba Fett?
$2,000. I'm just saying. I'm shooting for
$2,000?
$2,000.
Times 15. He also wanted $30,000 for the Boba Fett. And the Jawa? What a steal. He wanted $35,000 for the Jawa.
$35K for a card.
Okay.
Isn't there like a TV show or something that you go on and you get this stuff graded? And they tell you
what has happened now? Like, I think this is one of my things. Like, toys, especially started with video games over the last couple of years, like where comic books have they're still getting graded now. Video games and toys have entered that whole grading territory.
Yeah.
And kind of they're our generation's classic cars.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our previous parents' generation was all about restoring old cars. And then, you had the Barrett Jackson thing, and then, it got it up, and, people with money to burn spend that money. So now I think that's kind of what's translating into action figures and video games.
Yeah, it's like that recent Super Mario 64 game that sold for $1.5 million because it was graded. Give me a break. That is a racket. That's people driving up the prices to benefit themselves somehow. That's an absolute racket. But this guy, you go to a con to make deals, and you go to a con to find the vintage toys, even if they're not in the great shape. Like a dealer close to this guy had Deep Space Nine Defiant. Mm-hmm. He wanted $125 for it. It was still in the box, complete from Playmates.
Wow,
$125, totally reasonable. And if I would have had it, I would have probably tried to haggle with him because that shuttle is one that I never had, and I had almost the entire Playmates line of Star Trek toys growing up. I probably would have done that. $125, totally reasonable. $30K for the playset. $30K for a Boba Fett. $35K for a Jawa.
Come on, man.
So essentially, he had almost $100K worth of toys.
In his mind, he did.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, yes.
Yeah. Kind of going back to what I said, it's like, why would you even do that? If you felt like you had $100,000 worth of stuff, why would you bring it to a convention? And I mean, come on, Brock. He probably would have given it to you for $29,000.
Well, I could have probably got him down to, yeah. maybe 28,
27, 50,
75, something, yeah.
What was one thing that was pretty funny to me, it was the guy that we saw that was selling the Plasma Series lines for $20 a figure. And I just seen Ray at Target on clearance for $5.99.
Yeah. But they had the one guy that had the Defiant shuttle. He had all the current reissue of the real Ghostbusters figures, $50 a pop. And I'm like, they are everywhere at Walmart right now. They are warming the pegs.
Yes.
For $14. Come on, man. But Bo, we did look for the 2-packs of the Turtles for you.
Still looking.
Nowhere at the entire con.
I mean, I don't even think they exist anymore.
Like I said, I think they made actually, that's one thing I don't understand either. All the scalpers bought them up, or they only manufactured so many, which I mean.
But I've yet to even see at the cons anybody have.
That is a good point.
The 2-packs of them.
We haven't seen them at the cons.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
We saw the one Leonardo 2-pack.
Yeah.
At Full Circle Toys in Noonan, Georgia.
Right.
We did see that there, but they were only $80 a piece for it. I didn't have it at the time to
like I said,
spring for it.
I still go by and look ever so often, but it's to the point I don't expect it to be there. I'll be more shocked when I do find one.
At this point, yeah, they're all out of the stores.
Yeah.
I mean, essentially, it's been out of circulation. Where they were released middle of last year. So
yeah,
here we are a year later.
Yeah, and that's one thing we were talking about with Judith about the Turtles figures, because she was asking us how many we had, and I told her I've got almost the entire line and everything, and she was very much positive about NECA potentially re-releasing these. She said these guys know how popular these figures are, so you might see them again very soon. So hopefully, and she's got a better inside track than all of us, so that'd be nice. So we'll all keep an eye out, and Dragon Con's coming up, and they're going to have their big dealer area, and so we'll worm around Dragon Con. We'll all take a couple hours and roam around the dealer's room in Dragon Con.
Guess I better donate some plasma before Dragon Con.
Hey, we've got the...
Hey, look at this. There's the flyer right there for our local plasma center that's now open right there. Look at that.
Do yourself some good for to contributing to the medical research and also your toy fund.
Hey, I've got to recoup the sales tax on my car that I just paid.
He showed me that today. He's like, we think we still might want to do this. I was like, that's possible.
I mean, the crazy thing about it is you go there and at the most you're there an hour, and it's variation by I'm sorry, I'm not doing a plasma pitch, but I know I get emails and at the worst you're there an hour, and sometimes you might get paid $30, $20. And then sometimes, if you I got a coupon in the mail, I've got to think about it. If I go donate 8 times in the next few weeks, I could get $600. So I mean,
So Brock is going to be subsidizing his toys, and Jessica's going to be subsidizing Buc-ee's.
There you
Pretty much. Tangent. When we stopped by Buc-ee's yesterday, we stopped there at 6:50 yesterday morning. We stopped there at 6:50 yesterday evening, coming back. 12 hours on the nose. We were at Buc-ee's twice. And 2 little old ladies were standing outside. I mean, white hair. They were just standing there, just looking up at Buc-ee's.
Mm-hmm.
And I told Jess, I'm like, this is your retired life. This is what you're going to look like. We're going to be stuck at Buc-ee's for the rest of our eternity.
Hey, look, I had to stop and get something from my dad. I failed getting him something the last time we passed through there, a couple of, the last time we were coming back with the kids. So I told Brock, I was like, I got it. My conscience is getting the best of me. I got to stop and get my dad something that he loves that I didn't get him last time.
Yeah, and it's funny is we had stopped by Buc-ee's and left, and about 5 minutes after we left, he texted, "Can y'all stop by Buc-ee's and get me one of these biscuits?" And we're like, we just left yesterday. We just crossed the line into Alabama, and he texted about 2 minutes after we got in Alabama, "Hey, can y'all stop and get me a lottery ticket?" We just missed it by another 2 minutes, Dad. Sorry.
Yeah, I should already know these things ahead of time. I mean, I need to help my dad out in his old age a little bit, remember these things.
And I had even asked you in the car, do we need to stop and get your dad a lottery ticket? And she's like, probably not this time. I think he should be good. And then 2 minutes after we get in Alabama.
Well, yeah, because normally when he knows we're going over to Georgia, he's got the envelope ready. He's got the ticket in. He already has the ticket filled out and the cash in there. I just walk in there and hand him the stuff, and that's it. So I was just assuming we didn't need to because it wasn't done beforehand. But
no, we told him we'll get him one on the way to Dragon Con or on the way back. Oh,
so that was our Saturday.
Yeah,
and then
But speaking of Dragon Con, it's coming up in just 3 weeks. Man, it's hard to believe it's here and it's going to be in person. And I am so thankful that it's going to be in person with half the capacity of 2019. 2019 was estimated to be about 85,000 people there. They're going to knock that down to about 40, maybe 43 at the most. So I am excited about that because we've got our passes. We're all going and it's going to be a very nice half crowd from the last time we were there.
I want to say they're not even selling Saturday only passes now, right? That was one of the things they nixed it.
Yeah, they killed that off. I don't know if they sold out of every day of the, Friday.
Yeah, I haven't looked either.
The weekend passes.
Yeah, we got weekend passes, so we didn't care.
Like I missed over. How am I know they're not mailing out the blue cards, correct?
Right. Everything's done over a QR code because they partnered with a company called Growtix. And
we did that 2019, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, yeah.
So I think 2018 was the last year for the cards. And so now you show a QR, you walk up to registration, show a QR code, and they give you your badge.
I might have to dig out that email.
Yeah, I would. Yeah. So, Dragon Cons is going to be here, and we'll probably hit on more of that next episode because we're going to squeeze in one more before we all head to Dragon Con. And just so you guys know, we looked at our schedule. The Sunday we're all at Dragon Con is supposed to be the next time we record. Probably not going to make that episode.
Yeah.
So there might be about a month lull in between.
But I think most of y'all will be at Dragon Con with us.
Yeah, everybody who listens will be there with us anyway, so it won't matter.
Except for Ryan.
Yeah.
Ryan,
sorry,
if you're listening, sorry you can't cross that border yet.
Stuck in Canada. Even though one of my best friends from high school lives in Canada and was down here for the last month, is going back, or he actually went back. So you can't
Don't
cross
get the man
border.
in trouble.
You can cross the border. You just have to quarantine yourself when you get back, I guess. Because America. But Dragon Con mask mandate, whether you're vaccinated or not, totally fine. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of cosplayers that are going to incorporate that into their costumes. So that's fantastic. So, and it's just an indoor thing. So,
yeah. Mainly, and I'm sure I know many of you who are my friends who pay attention to me now that there's a mask required mandate. And yes, I am trying to figure out how I can safely wear pins on my mask. So if you're wondering, I'm trying to figure that out.
So does Dickies make a face mask now?
I don't know. I need to figure that out.
Oh, this is going to be great.
Bo wears a lot of the Dickies khaki shirts. That's what's covered with the pins.
Flair. That's my casual cosplay. I mean, it's something. Comfortable, of course. Though I've lost a few pins, or they've bent the backs when we've had too much fun, inebriated. But that's what I've been thinking. I've been trying to think, like, how can I safely do this where I can wear a mask and pins, so I'm going to look like really blinged out. I don't know.
I did not think about the pins. Yes.
And just Bo has to avoid metal detectors like crazy when he wears the Dickie shirts.
He lights it up.
Yeah, either the metal detector is going to do one thing, mess with my pins, or destroy me if I'm a robot. I don't know.
Well, if you're going to the Marriott, that is questionable now. Yeah. Yes.
And I got a feeling this year at the Marriott, we will not be spending Saturday night inside that place. That's going to be a hazard.
I have a feeling they probably will break people up after a while.
Probably.
You know how they normally they do the cleanup. They'll probably, I'm sure it's going to be like fire marshal extreme, where letting so many people in at time or in shifts or whatever. Yeah. Which, I mean, hey, I'd rather do restricted Dragon Con than no Dragon Con at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's going to be weird, speaking of restricted, is the parade. You can only, I don't know how they're going to enforce this. And Dragon Con said, we're not telling our secrets.
Yeah.
But they're going to limit parade viewership to either online or you have to be a pass holder. You have to be a Dragon Con attendee in order to be out there. Normally, there's 100,000 people. And that's not an exaggeration. There is usually 100,000 people lining the streets for that Dragon Con parade. I don't know if they're going to try to keep them out of the parking decks. You always look up as you're walking. Yeah, you walk along the parade route, and the parade decks, people are hanging off the side of the parking decks, each level, watching the parade. And you look up, you strain your neck to wave at them.
Correct?
What's that?
it's still the same route, correct?
I believe so.
I believe it's still the same route.
That's gonna be really weird. They shut down that much streets for just con attendees.
Dude, I hope to see Tumbleweed. That'd be great. But the thing is, like, most of the con attendees are going to be in the parade.
Yeah.
So,
or still asleep,
or passed out drunk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or us, Jess and I are not drinkers, but we're old. But we're going to get up early enough, I guess.
Of course we will. You know me. I mean, I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning anyway.
Not this morning.
Well, I was, and then I went back to sleep. So
Saturday is the only day of Dragon Con I get up before 9 a.m. I think. Rest of the time is
And plus, we're used to being on Central Time, so that's 8 o'clock our time.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've saved me. Like I said, I'm trying to remember. There's two guests. Only one of them I can think of off the top of my head I'm looking forward to is Fred Tascarone. He does a lot of voice work in video games I like.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been kind of the one guy I'm excited for.
Yeah, well, they got DDP.
Yeah.
That's right. DDP. That was the other one, correctly.
Sting's going to be there too, right?
No.
Sting's coming to Alabama Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Sting's going to be in our town.
Yes.
But
yeah, that was DDP who they added. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Well, I think the only celebrity photo op that Brock and I are going to do this year is the Eccleston and Piper.
Yeah.
The team up, the Doctor Who photo
You definitely
op.
should take advantage of this. Yeah, because that's big for Eccleston now doing conventions or doing some.
That's huge.
That was like, hey, something is obviously working out here because, we never thought we'd get David Tennant. Got David Tennant. Now Chris Eccleston. So, hey.
Yeah, we've had all the modern doctors here now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Never thought that would happen. But yeah, we're going to do the photo op with Chris Eccleston and Billy Piper. And we've already had one photo op with Billy, but she was with Alex Kingston and Karen Gillan and Matt Smith. And Brock's over here in the picture hugging up on Alex Kingston and Karen Gillan, and poor Billy's off to the side, and Jess is hugging up on Matt Smith, and Billy's by herself. And I'm like, okay, for this photo op, I'm going to hug on Billy because I left her out last time. I got to make it. I got to make her feel good.
I got Chris. You got Billy. We'll work this out.
We got this.
We got this. Much better. Speaking of photo ops, though, we'll touch back on just for a brief second for Atlanta Comic Con with Jody's photo op. Nothing to be negative here at all, but it is kind of weird, with the whole plexiglass setup. And before, when we went to Huntsville Comic Con, we saw them doing the plexiglass photo ops, and it was very thin, and they were showing you could not see it in the picture. So it was like, okay, so probably this same setup. Well, if you're friends with us and you've seen our pictures, and you know that wasn't the case, and it was a little odd because, you're used to doing the photo ops where you can get on, if it's like me and Brock, we get on either side of, the celebrity. So we both had to stay on the same side, and then it's this table with the plexiglass, and we're like, okay, how do we do this? It was kind of confusing. It was definitely odd for us. It was the first time we'd ever encountered that. So.
Yeah, Jody's leaning on one side of the table, Jess and I are leaning on the other side, and there's this big old, very visible plexiglass shield in between us. It is the most off-putting photo. I'm so thankful we got to have another photo and got to talk to Jody and got to meet with her again. But the photos we took at Fanboy Expo, where all the three of us have arms around each other and enjoying the moment, it looks so much better. This one, I'm really tempted to Photoshop the plexiglass out and just put like a statue of Ariel on the table just to have it look good. And the photographer, Lord Lover, got the picture off center. So there could be another person on. Yeah. The one I posted to this on my personal social media accounts, I cropped. You could put a whole nother person next to Jody in this picture. Jess is all the way up to the edge and Jody's almost in the middle of the picture. She didn't frame it very well.
Yeah.
Now she redeemed herself with a picture with Judith because she got us center. Judith had her hands around us, and we had the same with her. We're all huddled up having a great time, and but I love the picture of Jody. She looks great. She looks wonderful, but that plexiglass is off-putting.
Yeah.
I wonder if that. I mean, Which is nothing wrong with that's her choice. I wonder if that was like a personal thing or like agent thing.
It had to be a personal thing because she was
the only one that chose to have that set up.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that. I understand that.
Right.
No, totally. And she's fully vaxxed and everything else. And that's great. And totally respect the plexiglass decision.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
That was.
That's like I said, don't get me wrong in my discussion about it, but it is kind of this was like the first time we had a photo op with a setup. So
it looks, it's jarring.
It's
it really
kinda,
is.
Yeah.
Because like she said at Huntsville, you couldn't see it in the photo ops. This place,
yeah. So
it doesn't look good. So I may Photoshop and just pretend. My memory's bad anyway. I may not remember the plexiglass if I do that.
You should Photoshop the statue of Prince Eric that floats to the bottom of her collection. I think that should be on the table.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I found a guy who actually he's a Disney artist, Disney sculptor, and he creates those types of statues. Like he's got I wish I could remember his name right off the top of my head. I'm not going to look him up, but I'm trying to convince Jess that when we get our forever home where we're going to retire and everything, he's got this, I think it's probably a 10-foot tall statue of Ariel that looks just like the cartoon version. That he'll make these for you, ship them to you. He's in Oregon, but he'll make these and ship them. You can buy them, and so I'm trying to convince her to, once we get our forever home, maybe we can slide this into the loan, get this big custom aerial sculpture for the backyard because that would be end all be all for me.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, I go out there in the morning. I don't drink coffee, so I'll have my glass of sweet tea and try to scale a giant mermaid statue. I don't know. Gotta get my exercise. It's my rock climbing wall.
I see what you did there. Scale it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's and just to touch back to I'm glad that we're able to go back to conventions and whatever everyone feels like they have to do at this given time in life right now to keep themselves safe and protected. I mean, that's their choice, and I respect that. I respect what anybody chooses to do in this time, but it's nice to be able to go back and to get back into conventions. And
also, that's really really cool. Like y'all got they let you remove the mask for the picture, then to put it back. Yeah, so that's cool. That's one of the things I've been worried about. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's your one opportunity. Say, like some people, that's their one opportunity to get a picture with them, which I mean, I understand, but I mean, still, you want to get your bang for your buck.
Right.
Yeah, it's just like in Huntsville, Emily Swallows. She's like, everybody's vaxxed. We're good. Yeah. Okay. Masks off. What's that? I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I hope the people will adhere to Dragon Con policy. They're going to require the mask. No big deal. Whoop-de-doo. I don't care either way.
Yeah.
But, hey, I'm taking mask. I'm taking hand sanitizer.
Yeah.
It's we're going to do everything to keep ourselves as safe as we possibly can.
I hope the people will be face to face more cordial than they are in the dadgum Dragon Con Facebook group.
Yeah.
It's almost like if I were not going to go just to hang out with friends at Dragon Con, I might skip it because all these people online are just horrible to each other.
And this is both sides of the argument.
Yeah, this is everybody.
Think about it. Like, I don't understand, man.
Like, look,
people don't understand.
Do what you feel like you need to do to weather the storm. We'll get through it.
Yeah.
One way or the other.
Yeah, and if you don't want to go, that's your choice. If you want to go, that's your choice. It's it's all in the choices and whatever everyone feels is best for them.
And Dragon Con is a private institution. If they have their requirements, you want to go, abide by their requirements.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
And I see a lot of people are making the argument, if they can't do this, why not have it all? I believe they're in a part where they really cannot. I don't think they could cancel it because it would hurt them so
bad.
There is absolutely no way they could cancel it.
Nope. It would have to, not I don't think this far in, and plus it's like it would have to, like last year it had to come down to the city of Atlanta, making that call in order to, like I said, we all know it's involved with the cost with them to put Dragon Con together and the guests and everything else. So
yeah. Well,
That's another can of worms.
Oh,
that's
totally.
one that we're not going to touch.
And
yes, we spend time here on things that unify us.
That's right.
And what's one thing that's going to unify so many people come November? Because I have not heard
Thanksgiving.
I was going to say Thanksgiving.
What was that, Kev?
So I was going to say Thanksgiving too.
Yeah.
Well, in the U.S., maybe. What are you doing over there?
So sorry, guys. I shifted myself around and I headbutted the microphone.
Heed now.
Well, the stand actually. Yeah, I bumped the stand. Sorry.
It's okay. She's a second-degree black belt. She's okay.
Sorry for that.
She can kick you in the shin. But the one thing that's going to unify, I believe, bring harmony and peace to everybody is November the 11th. It's Ghostbusters Afterlife. This latest trailer that we missed by 2 days the last time.
Well, we missed discussion. We didn't miss it now.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, we were there.
We sure as heck didn't miss it.
No, we didn't miss it at all. I've seen so much positivity coming out of this. This trailer dropped 2 weeks ago, and it is beautiful. You know, we
magnificent.
We have kept, and you heard Jess say magnificent. That means she's watched it. She's always been telling us, I don't want to see a second trailer. Don't want to see it. She'd throw her headphones out, kick and stomp like a little kid who didn't get candy at the store. I don't want to see it. No, she is not like that at all.
Have you guys seen anything negative about this trailer yet?
Yes.
Really? Like from the community? You have? Okay.
It's the Ghostbusters fan community. Yes.
Yeah. Well, there's a popular term I've heard, and it's in every fan community. It's called the fandom menace.
So nice. Nice.
So it's part of every one of them.
Exactly.
Yeah. I've seen some negativity, but that's just people being buttheads.
Unlike the last Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, nothing will ever top that.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So because I mean, based on what I'm seeing out of this movie, it just feels right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just from the trailer, it feels right. It feels like a Ghostbusters movie.
Yes.
And I'm not saying, okay, look, I'm gonna preface this by saying, I'm not saying that Ghostbusters 2016 wasn't a Ghostbusters movie. It was its own thing. Mm-hmm. It was Ghostbusters, and I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But it really didn't continue anything with the original story. It was very much outside of the box. It was outside of the continuity.
Alternate universe.
Again, yeah, exactly. It's alternate. It was they got TVA'd, right? You know, so I mean, it was it was its own movie, but this just feels like it's a spiritual continuation. It's like our Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah. Not only continuation, it feels like a love letter to the franchise. Like I said, I've watched the trailer many times. I've watched it probably once every other day. Shared it the other day. There's a photo comparison that Ghostbuster Mania did, and there's a great shot where Trevor is working on the car, and its comparison shot is when Ray is working on the car and Dana comes in there. So like little stuff like that is just got me.
Yeah,
it was like you made the comment too, Bo, that they say you can never go home again.
Yep.
We're coming home.
Yeah.
Like it's so weird. Like I don't know if it's because I've got older. I used to not get emotional entertainment stuff, but I guess because I'm so closely connected to Ghostbusters. The first time I watched that darn trailer, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I cried.
We all
like,
did.
And it wasn't like I was like sobbing, cried. It was just like that wells of in the side of your eyeball. They're like, this makes me way more happier than a movie should. But it did it.
The feels. The feels.
When we. Like I said, Jess was not going to watch this, and I wound up, as soon as it was released, I got up and I watched it, and I texted her, I'm like, it's safe. You're going to love it. Watch it.
Yes.
I mean, we had a discussion about this. We really did, me and him. It's kind of sad, but it's true. And he just said, you will not be disappointed. I don't think you're going to be let down. I don't think nothing's going to be overly spoiled for you. You need to watch that trailer. And I did. And I don't regret it. I'm so glad I did. And again, I could not avoid this thing. I had resigned myself to the fact that I can't not be exposed to this in one way, shape, or form. I'd have to disappear until November. Out of a lot of my friends' lives, I would have to just be gone.
So disappear out of mine because I was going to watch it.
Well, the crazy thing about it, it gives us a whole lot to digest, but also at the same time, it gives you a whole lot more questions like,
yes,
what caused this? What is this? What is
Right.
Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna rip the Band-Aid off.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question. Is Janine Callie's mom?
That I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Nobody knows.
We don't know.
I know we don't know, but I mean, what do you guys think the possibility is?
Here's the one thing. The first thing I noticed about Janine is if you notice when she shows up on screen in that trailer, she's wearing a leopard print shirt.
Yep.
She had a leopard print coat in Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
That's one thing I tied together immediately when I saw her.
And the way that she's talking isn't like it's reminiscing, but it could also be a mom talking to her daughter.
Could be. It very well could be.
Potential.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a very open-ended
would
question.
that not be just amazing though?
If anything, guaranteed, she is the executor of Egon's estate. Yeah.
I've heard that.
I hope
fully
it's
believe
not
that.
corny. I would think that would be appropriate, but it would still be kind of cool if it was like all in the family.
It made me think, let's go back and just kind of I'm sorry to bring on that, just the story in general. So all I'm assuming is essentially somehow Shandor has built a Gozer temple, or there was a Gozer temple underground, and apparently Egon either found out about that to try to figure out what was going on, because this is something else, Easter egg from the trailer. I don't know if I'm going past by this thing.
It's okay.
Did you guys see the years on the top of the temple?
Yes.
You have World War I, World War II, and then 1984, the events of the original one, and assuming the original year date of 2020, which was the release date of the movie. So I'm assuming that was some kind of prophecy he was trying to prevent before his passing.
Yeah.
So that's something I took away. Sorry, I didn't mean to backtrack there.
No, that's fine. We're diving headfirst into this thing.
I could be all over the place with this thing. So
I think that's very, that's very good. It's a very good theory out there.
But I guess, like I said, he passed, and then of course her family. Which, like I said, if she's his daughter, that's fine. I could see it looking at her. Therefore. Of course, I mean, Phoebe is essentially, she is Egon's granddaughter.
Straight up and down.
I mean, the trailer even solidifies it more when she looks at Paul Rudd's character and goes, the apocalypse. I mean, I hear Harold Ramis's voice coming out of that little girl. Which, by the way, I can't think of the actress's name that plays Phoebe. What is her name?
McKenna Grace.
McKenna Grace. I watched her reaction to the trailer.
That was so
that
cute.
girl is adorable.
She is.
She is. It took me a minute to realize who she was, because she's grown a little bit since the movie was filmed, and I'm like, who the heck is that? Oh, that's Phoebe. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's 30 now.
Yeah. It's like, I mean, it's been a while, guys.
Finn Wolfhard's got grandkids now.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Adam Savage was on the set for the filming, and they were going to see more of that?
Yeah, the teaser that they put out, that Jason Reitman and Adam put out, where Adam cracked open a proton pack from Afterlife. The cyclotron mechanics are completely different. Really cool. I was like, oh, okay. Of course, I'm in proton pack building groups on Facebook. Somebody's already made it.
Oh, that makes me want to retro convert mine now.
Somebody has already made the spinning cyclotron inside the pack.
Nice.
But the problem is he posted a video of it, and while he was filming the video, it snapped. And so it's starts grinding.
I don't know what's wrong. I mean, it's a build in progress, right?
Yeah, but instead of 4 cyclotron lights, it's one that just spins around the four lenses on the pack.
I mean, honestly, that the first time I saw a cyclotron and I looked at that as a kid, that's what I thought it was doing.
Yeah,
like there was something on the inside spinning around. I mean, of course, you think it's something nuclear, but in the end, it's you're like, okay, well, obviously it's a prop. They made this, and I've always thought that. But then when I got heavy into the Ghostbusters community, and they were like, if you're going to build a proton pack, you need to use the 4 LEDs, and then you put the board, and then it just moves around in a circle. I was like, well,
do you do like I did with my proton pack, and you hot glue Dixie cups up to the lens, and then stick the LEDs in the bottom of the Dixie cup or the flashlight reflectors. Yeah,
that's how mine is.
We can throw some stuff together on the cheap.
And wax paper to make it look like that light diffused light from the 80s.
Exactly.
So So I've got to see this video that you guys are talking about where the guy made. So what did he do? Get like one of those little hobby motors and get a popsicle stick and then stuck a light on the end of it and just let it spin.
Well, like if you look at when Adam Savage lifts the shell off the pack, it looks like a little cardboard tube with the light at the end of it that's belt driven, and it spins.
Mm-hmm.
And so apparently his, either the motor shot or something, but it sped up. It snapped, and it's like, I got to fix that.
I would think, since we're talking equipment, on top of, us not seeing many of the old Ghostbusters, I want you to know, seeing the car roll down the street, someone blasted a proton pack, and then finally getting to see the RTV in action. Like, I think, like, that's the crazy thing about Ghostbusters. The equipment and vehicles are just as much characters to the movies as, like, the actors and characters themselves.
The Ecto is a character in the movie.
Exactly. Oh, man. Like, so that gives me just as much chills of wanting to see the old guys. Like, the car, I don't know. It's weird. It's one of the things I wish I could discuss.
Well, I mean, and Trevor in the movie, he's like, what, 14 or something? Like maybe 14?
15, 16 gearhead.
Definitely a gearhead, because I mean he got the Ecto back running. It's like, this is the only one that had an engine,
But the when he's driving through the cornfield going woo, I mean, woo. I mean, it's you're 14, 15-year-old kid driving this beast of a machine that you don't really know what it is. It's painted up different. That's still got to be just like, for us, I'm like, he's driving the Ecto 1, where he's just like, I'm driving this hot rodded Cadillac.
Yeah, exactly.
With a Corvette motor in it. That's what they use. They put a Corvette motor in the Ecto.
So the Ecto can scoot.
Yeah. Yeah,
that probably sounds awesome too.
Yeah. Person. Can't wait to hear that thing fire up for the first time in the movie.
Listen, y'all, we saw it on our TVs, on our phones, on our PCs, but we were treated before Jungle Cruise to seeing that trailer on the IMAX screen.
IMAX.
And I mean, I'm telling you, November just could not get here fast enough to see that on the big screen where it's supposed to be seen, where it's enjoyed and savored.
There's a companion video that IGN put out. It's 15 minutes long, and it's Jason Reitman talking about it's a trailer breakdown, and they have treated the older movies with such respect. They went, and as you're seeing the big green funnel in the sky, just like it was coming down over New York, over Spook Central in the original movie. It's back in Oklahoma, and the purple beams, the swooshes of energy and everything coming out of this thing. They went back to the original 1984 master reels, found that effect, and took that exact effect and cleaned it up and repurposed it for Afterlife. So you're getting the 1984 visual effects in Afterlife. There's so much reverence. I highly encourage you, if you have not seen that, where Jason breaks down this trailer, go back. There's a lot of really awesome facts in that. This movie has been handled with love. I mean, it was his dad's movie. It was Ivan's movie. So he's got his heart and soul into this. It's going to be wonderful.
And that's what's going to make this movie is knowing what is the heart and soul behind putting this together. It's like we've always said, it is our love letter.
Yeah. Well, say what you will about with it being, the movie being postponed because of the, like, everything going on. But once again, this movie, it's probably may have had the best, an extra added year of post-production.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm sure that's added to the extra care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason tweeted that out or Instagrammed it or something towards the end of last year. And he had said something to the effect of, how many directors get all this extra time to sit and just do nothing but tweak this thing?
Yeah.
This movie is going to be slapped near perfect.
Yeah.
When it hits, it's going to be 100% his vision. And the way the marketing has rolled out for it has been fantastic. We've had some droughts naturally, but then, cereal starts expiring. And so they got to start putting that on the shelves. And that's where we go, what are these mini Stay Puft guys? And we get introduced to that. We get that little snippet. And And a lot of people thought that Ghostbusters 2 was going to be just completely non-existent. And the last shot of this trailer is Ray's Occult's bookstore from Ghostbusters 2. Ray's got this brand new, beautiful neon sign in the front, and that red phone that he answers in Ghostbusters 2 is still on the checkout counter.
And he has a tattoo on his arm that we have identified is what verse? The
Revelation 20-something.
And it happens to be the wrong verse, but it was like
it was the wrong verse in the first Ghostbusters movie.
Yeah, but he actually has the verse that correct they spoke about. Yeah. So granted, you followed it more than me, but from what I understand, the actual verse that's quoted on there is the actual verse from the movie. So they kind of stuck to the movie itself.
But they corrected the verse of the chapter, I think, on his arm.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they corrected the text on the tattoo.
I hate to be a bad Ghostbusters fan, not know it off the top of my head, but we all know the quote.
Yeah.
Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Judgment Day.
Where Ray and Winston are in the Ecto driving across the bridge, which Ernie has told us before they had to get out and push that car at one point across the bridge because it was such a junker.
I better get Winston behind the wheel of the Ecto in this movie.
Yeah.
But at least,
but Ray answering the phone, and it's become kind of a meme in the the Ghostbusters fans community on Facebook. We've got friends, and he listens to the podcast. Kevin Brooks is the first one that I saw mention this, but Ray, when the phone rings, Ray picks it up, and all you hear is Ray go, "We're closed." Yeah. And it's turned into this big thing of, in all capital letters, "We closed."
We closed.
And so whenever
he died, that when leave it up to Kevin. That's all I gotta say is to start this thing rolling and because those of you that we're friends with, that he posts that on my wall, and then the comment thread that followed.
We closed.
Therein. No study.
No study. What Ray say?
What Ray say? We're closed.
We closed.
We just have so much fun with this, and that's one thing I just love about our group. I love about our core group here is the fun that we have with this. Yeah. It's just a well-deserved laugh when it's needed. A lot of days.
And that's what's going to make this movie even more worth it, is just being able to experience it with all the friends and stuff. I mean, golly, we as the Alabama Ghostbusters have been around since 2008, 2009.
Yeah.
And, a lot of our close friends, I'm sure, as a group, we'll get together at some point and see it. And hopefully we'll do some events at theaters. We're going to start reaching out to theaters and see if they'll have us out for the screenings and all. And we're going to get together with some friends from Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, you name it. We're going to get together with a whole bunch of people over the course of this movie and see it. And, man.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm so looking forward to this.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about we never expect. Real honestly, there for years, we got teased for the third movie, and then once everyone got older, we never expected to get an actual third entry in the franchise. And that's the cool thing about it. Now you're talking about we're sharing this with our friends we've made along the way. These are people we all grew up and had the same experience, but now we're older. We've all talked all that. Now we can actually do this. Oh my gosh, these people. We had the same obsession as kids. Now we can share our same obsession as adults.
So, do you think that at some point here in either in this movie or possibly the next, they're actually going to start mentioning franchising? Because we did get a mention of franchising in the original movie.
I have some theories, but this is going to go I don't want to go too far into spoilery territory, because I looked at I don't know if I know you're avoiding the spoilers, so if you want to it's nothing major, but they released the box info for the older Ghostbusters.
I haven't read the box.
No, we haven't. We haven't.
That's what I'm saying. That's
However,
why I'm saving. Yeah.
In the trailer, this is not spoilers. This is in the trailer. They're watching a YouTube video of their old commercial that they shot in front of the firehouse, and it says New York City Ghostbusters. I think franchising is a thing.
Nice.
Okay. And that's in the trailer. That's not a spoiler.
Yeah. So like I said, if you're after avoiding spoilers, please avoid the released backs for some of the toys, because it's nothing like two plot line, but it's like a sentence, and it's like, okay, this is something if you want to find out on your own, do that.
Yeah,
and I think something spoilerly is tied to Phoebe's figure, because we have not seen her package.
Right.
Yeah,
that might be why you haven't seen it.
You guys know what that means. That means there's an Alabama Ghostbusters.
There better be.
Of course there is. Of course there is.
Well, at one point, when they were shopping this movie, when they were shopping 2016 around, before it became Answer the Call, Dan Aykroyd, the man behind Crystal Head Vodka, he's out there. He's all the time doing signings, and he's doing a tour and all this other stuff. And he's telling us, the franchises, when the new Ghostbusters movie comes out, we're going to reach out to the franchises, you guys, to, be extras in this. And we're like, oh, whoa, hey, great. He's telling that to all the franchises as he's doing his Crystal Head Vodka tour. Okay. Call us up,
Uncle
Dan. That's fine. Dan's got connections in Huntsville. So Dan knows Alabama. You know where to find us, man.
I bet to say the Ghost Corps has a list of all of us now.
Ghost Corps knows who we are,
but he is touted that if this does well, they will do more movies. And wouldn't that the initial?
If this does well, they would absolutely need to.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sony needs something good that's not Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they got enough drama with that.
Because Spider-Man is kind of half Disney now.
Yeah.
It's shared custody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, Sony knows where to find us. Ghost Corps knows where to find us. I mean, I know Eric Reich, Ivan's right-hand man out at Ghost Corps.
Rock's over here dropping his CV. So.
Hey, man, I'll drop names. I have no shame. I'm too old to have shame anymore. I will keep things secret, but I will have no shame in name dropping. So, spoiler alert, we will have Robin Shelby on the podcast at some point. Robin's a good friend of ours. She was Slimer in Ghostbusters 2, and she was Miss Slimer in Answer the Call. And Robin is a dear, sweet friend. She has been to our estate several times. And
yeah,
we'll have to try to think about our absurd talking. Like I remember, didn't we have something about a bat gun, Kevin? Didn't we talk about that?
Bat gun?
Yes, something we had talked about something absurd with Alabama back on the ALGB podcast when we had her on there.
Yes, there was something about a bat gun
because
Robin brought it up. Yeah.
I don't remember this at all.
I've got all the old archives. Eventually we're going to
Don't tell me to remember anything important. I'll remember something obscure that's not important.
What's your social security number? I don't know.
I've actually been looking up ways to archive the Alabama Ghostbusters podcast from way back when without having to pay the fees that we pay to host this podcast. I don't have to pay a monthly fee for them. I think I found a way. So if you ever want to hear the Alabama Ghostbusters podcast again, I might have a way to restore it and revive it. You can go back and find all the stuff that we're talking about. You can go back into the 2013 Alabama Phoenix Fest and hear our live panel that we did with Ernie and Robin. Wow. So I've got that all that saved. It's in a safe place. I just got to get it uploaded and reestablish an RSS feed. It'll happen one day when I get a break. But you're talking
whenever
about
that'll be.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But you're talking about the backs of the toys. I have not seen the backs of the plasma figures.
Okay.
If I stumble upon it, whatever.
Well, I've seen somebody had posted the picture and it said flat out, I don't suggest that you read this. So I hadn't even clicked to see it. So
go ahead.
Yeah. I would say just what's so funny. Like I said, be careful with it. Like I read it. I enjoy the journey just as much as the destination. But there's something I read that I had to go back and look at Jason's Instagram because he posted a lot of just pictures during production of just obscure things. And I'm like, okay, I went back and it made me go back to one. I was like, oh, that makes sense now.
Oh, okay.
So that's something to kind of think about later on. Once we see the movie or seen it, I'll we'll discuss it afterwards.
Well, the Hallmark ornament from last year, that was supposed to be released, revealed the RTV.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy thing, because if you go back and watch the original trailer preview, the RTV wasn't in the shot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a couple differences in the original trailer and then this one. Like the original one, all the pink stuff was green coming out of the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then RTV was not in that shot of Ecto making the turn chasing Muncher, where now it's in the new trailer.
Right.
And now you see Muncher even more clearly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great looking ghost.
Yeah.
He's
yes. No, it's. I think they did good research with him. They wanted to make him something familiar to Slimer, but yet something new.
And can we talk As much as we hate Walmart, can we talk about Paul Rudd, Mr. Gruberson, being chased out of Walmart by a terror dog?
That was awesome.
That was awesome.
That was so funny.
And it's in keeping with, just based on that, it's obviously the terror dog has zeroed on him to be
you're going,
I guess one of the two, or to take possession of him, assuming they're still doing the whole Keymaster Gatekeeper thing. I don't know if he's supposed to be
You just brought, made me think. That's the same thing you were thinking, but I want to say, from what this is me, what I've pasted together from the trap. Either that terror dog spirit or whatever's in the trap, Phoebe finds. They take it to him, and then somehow it gets released at the school. Which, I mean, this is all stuff you've seen in the trailer,
right?
And then, therefore, I guess he becomes the chosen one to be him.
Could very well be. Yeah, you talk about the big spectral terror dog.
That was awesome.
Oh, that
goes between the buses.
Yeah,
blows all the windows out. That was amazing.
Well, you see it above him too in that trailer shot. It's above him.
Yeah, Phoebe's hiding in the bus. And then Gruberson's outside, and he's looking up at this. And if you've seen the Hasbro plasma figures, you've seen the Build-A-Figure that's coming with the original guys and with Trevor and Podcast and Lucky. It's a Build-A-Figure of this spectral terror dog. He's got purple legs.
It's called the Sentinel terror dog.
Sentinel. Yeah. Man, I can't wait to see that bad boy in action. That thing looks awesome. But seeing a different version of a terror dog is just, I'm loving that.
Well, that's one thing I heard. Like, this is like, I don't want to say they're not building towards some giant monster this time. At least that's what Jason has said. Now, with that, he could be throwing a curveball. That's what I took away. But like seeing the terror dog as a bipedal menace, that's going to be freaking scary.
Yeah, that's going to be great. We can't move on without talking about is that the flat top of Gozer?
It's gotta be
coming out of the hole in the temple.
I mean, I don't see how it could not be.
Is Slavica, is she gonna be back as Gozer?
That's what I want to know. Is she involved in this?
Well, I would love to know that.
I hope it's her. I mean,
but if it's Paul Rubens, it's going to be even funnier.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
I'm back.
Like that's the other thing on top of this movie. To be in post-production long as it is, and they've been able to keep all this stuff secret like they have.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful for that.
No, I'm not complaining at all.
Yeah,
I'm impressed.
It looks like Gozer. I would not be surprised though if it's a curveball as well.
It's probably. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's most likely going to be CG. But I think it might be that it's Gozer-esque. But they already said Gozer takes whatever form she wants. I mean, so
yeah.
She could be something totally different now.
Well, I want to say, what was it in the video game? Like when the reason why the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man came back, whatever dimension she goes to, what form she chooses, that's what she's forever assigned to in that universe.
Gozer's going to be Kevin.
Stop.
From Ghostbusters 2016 version.
The terror dogs. Funny. One of the terror dogs' name is not Vince or
I've got
Zul.
your new logo.
It's going to be Mike Hat.
Yeah, Mike Hat.
Oh my goodness!
My God, the fandom would riot even more than normal.
But yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer, I'd be shocked by now if you haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen the IGN, like I said, the 15-minute video of the breakdown, go see that. Jason does a beautiful job explaining the behind the scenes of the trailer, and we can't do the justice that Jason does.
No,
Jason Reitman. But and going back to the Plasma Series figures with the Build-A-Figure and stuff, Hasbro, Hasbro has released. There's Ghostbusters toys on shelves right now in the store. I was in Target the other day. I think Bo and I go to shop at the same Target.
Yeah,
they're there. I've got Ray and Egon.
You talking about the new Fright Feature ones?
Yeah, the new Fright Feature figures. I've got Ray and Egon. I haven't been able to pick up the mod wand, the Proton mod wand.
I haven't seen it in store yet.
It's there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's at our Target. I haven't picked it up yet, and I've seen the figures. The Ectos are there.
Yeah, I saw it Friday.
Yeah.
So I knew I saw it.
The Ectos are there. I've got all the Plasma Series figures. I've got a couple of the Ectos and a couple of I got the Peter and Winston Fright Features. Actually, the Winston Fright Feature is supposed to be arriving tomorrow from Amazon. I had a gift card, and so
Oh, nice.
Amazon had the wave where it's like there's a couple of different waves of the Fright Features figures. They're the same 4 guys, but the accessories, the ghosts that come with them are different.
They're different.
Yeah. I don't know the 2 new ghosts that come with Peter and Winston, but they did like a wave 2 already. That's got Peter's got Zool, the terror dog, and Winston has Slimer, and my Winston with Slimer showing up tomorrow, I believe, and then Peter's going to arrive in a couple of weeks from Amazon. So I've got all those on pre-order. They've got the cases of the mini Stay Puffs that are on the shelf. We got to get a couple of cases of those. I thought it was just going to be the little like ectoplasm cans type things. I thought it was going to be just that with a figure inside, but apparently there's some nasty, congealed white marshmallow junk slime.
It looks like drywall spackling. I watched.
It does.
I watched Dan Harshman open up about 4 or 5 of them on his on their Ghostbusters Virginia page the other night.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it looks like he showed me some interesting tips to how to like basically you're wringing the stuff off of it because it looks just like it is just going to be.
Well, some people have to wonder if it's how long those been sitting waiting also to be distributed. So that could be a good reason why.
Yeah, it could have been a whole different type of consistency a year ago. We don't. Those things have been sitting in there for a while. Yay, pandemic! Thanks for messing up the marshmallow goo. So. Yeah, so the new toys are hitting the shelves. There's a regular Proton wand, but then there's the mod that's got the different attachments and stuff on it. There's a ghost whistle. It's kind of like an Aztec ghost whistle that it's like you turn the knob on it. It's like you don't blow into it like a whistle, but you can turn the knob on it and you can like yell at it or something, and it starts making the different ghost sounds.
Yeah.
You turn the knob and it's a different ghost, turn the knob, a different ghost, etc. There's that. And plus that Aztec whistle, if you look on the Hasbro, the Plasma series figures, there's a podcast that has that on his belt, right? Yeah. That's wearing that. So, yeah. The one thing I love about the Plasma series figures, jumping back to that really quickly, is Winston. Winston's got this look on his face, like, really? He's got like he's got pursed lips, like, you know better than that. He's got a sour look on his face, which is funny.
I'm too old for this stuff that'll turn you white.
Exactly. But man, seeing
now my hair's turning white.
Yeah. Both Winston and
Ray.
Winston and Ray have the little like Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos. Got that little gray feathering in of their sideburns right there, and Peter is just completely gray.
Bill.
Peter looks like me,
which is funny because like in my head canon, Peter would be the one who would like who would reject his grayness at the most. He would have the ink toner black hair.
Oh yeah, hands down. Yeah, it'd be sweating off his head like Rudy Giuliani. Oh man.
And seeing, and people were talking about the plasma figures being seen as spoilers just by their appearance. I'm like, well, what do you think they're going to look like? And plus, they're going to be in the movie. And thankfully, no, we did not get the Winston or the Peter or the Dana reveal in the trailer. Thankfully not. I mean, we got what we got of Ray, and that's fine.
That's all I want.
And that's all I want.
I don't want to see them.
I don't.
Regardless, Dan would have been in that movie kicking and screaming. Even if he had to run in the background, Dan would have been in that movie.
Oh, no doubt.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Dan's going to be part of this hands down.
Well, they only recently showed him the movie because and they're still having to keep him under wraps because he'll spoil it.
Yeah. Dan
is locked in Shandor's mind.
Yeah.
He can't be released till...
he was the one coming out of the pit.
Yeah,
that's... Are you guys finally going to let me out?
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't see Dan until November 11th, the premiere date. That's when we'll see Dan. They got him under lock and key at Ghost Corps.
Well, I tell you, the movie is just great. I'm telling you, the cast is great. The script is great.
Fantastic. You got to see Gozer.
Would you like to buy some vodka?
We're open.
You know there's going to be a Crystal Head bottle somewhere in this movie.
There's definitely going to be.
There has to be. Hey, if you guys put my vodka in the movie, I'll hush.
Hey, I got all these Himalayan salt lamps over here. I got the Crystal Head vodkas over here. Crazy cool books, man.
There will be a Super Basso Mag there, too.
That's what Shandor's mining is Herkimer diamonds. It's not the steel to build Spook Central.
Man.
Oh, my goodness. We love you, Dan.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Would not trade you for the world, Uncle Dan.
He is an absolute treasure. They all are, man. I tell you what, we have such a love for Ghostbusters and such a reverence for it. And so proud to know quite a few of the people who have worked on the movies and everything in the past. Mm-hmm. It's wonderful.
Yeah, Brock was dropping a CV earlier, dropping names and stuff, and now we're making fun of Dan. And I don't think he's going to call you, Brock.
I haven't met Dan.
Bo's the only one.
Yeah, Bo's the only one.
Yep. Bo's the only one.
Yep.
Okay, you want me to name drop? Here we go.
No.
This is a segment called Brock's Name Drop.
Dan did a Crystal Head Vodka signing up in Huntsville, and that's where Bo and several of our other members met him back in 2010? 2011, sometime around there. Bo did get me a Crystal Head Vodka bottle signed by Dan. But my daughter's, one of her recitals for school was that day, so that's why I couldn't make it up there. I was like, oh, Dan's going to be in Alabama. And, like, daughter first.
Yep.
So my name drop is, he's deactivated his Facebook account, but Tom Wilson, who played Biff in Back to the Future, Tom Wilson and I were friends on Facebook. And I made the comments like, I'm missing seeing Dan Aykroyd today because my daughter has a recital, but I wouldn't trade that for the world. And Tom actually commented. It's the only thing he ever commented on my Facebook page. Tom goes, do you think Dan would ever cry at your funeral?
Oh.
And I said, you are dead right.
Yep.
My daughter would. I hope. But she would. She's daddy's girl.
That's right.
But yeah. So I'm done with the name dropping. There you go. I'm done. I tell you, what other toys are coming out? We know. Oh, speaking of toys, Walmart. First of all, Jess likes to collect the Funko Pops of The Office. The other day, I get an email saying from Walmart that something has been delivered. I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting anything from Walmart. And the picture was on the email, and the delivery guy's foot's in the picture. It's on our front step. But he took a picture, and it's a plastic Walmart bag like you use at the checkout. And I'm like, what is this? Who's dropping off? I'm not doing anything illegal here, am I? Who's dropping off something in a Walmart bag? It was Walmart. Shipped the Oscar Martinez Office Pop in a plastic bag. It had the shipping label attached to a plastic bag that was stapled shut.
Well, just when I didn't think it could get any worse, I did see where a friend of ours got his U.S. agent figure, Craig Goldberg,
yes,
delivered.
With a shipping label on the actual action figure.
I mean, they couldn't even bother to put it in a bag or a brown box.
It's the action figure on the back where you turn it over to see all the accessories and stuff listed, or the story listed about the figure as a shipping label for them. I'm like, dear Lord. But
my only theory for you getting the shopping bag is they deliver it to the store, and then the store was like, okay, we'll just throw it in a bag and throw it on the front porch.
Yeah, that's what I assumed happened.
That
it
could
was
be.
Just like when you posted that it was just like this kind of like you went and got your Walmart groceries.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But who delivered it?
Yeah.
I don't know who delivered. It just said delivery from Walmart, and it's out there in a bag. But then a couple of days later, the retro Kenner Real Ghostbusters Ecto 1s have been shipped out. Yep. And my two arrived in a Walmart. The Walmart box was kind of opened. So I'm like, oh, here we go. But I opened it. The boxes are immaculate.
Beautiful.
They are pristine Ecto 1 boxes. So I haven't even opened one yet because I'm so afraid to, because they look so good.
Yeah, I got two. I got one for my son and one for me. And like I said, he's getting the box. He says he's going to open it up and play with it. He's getting the box. It's a little more being on the edge, but I mean, I plan to open mine. I'll probably open mine if I can find another one on shelf.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm kind of waiting to see.
Yeah, if I can find another one on the shelf, I'm going to convert it to the Ecto 2 or the Ecto 1A. I'll get the stickers off Etsy or something. I know I've seen some people selling them.
Yeah, that's my plan too.
Yeah, because I never had the Ecto 1A. I only had the Ecto 1.
I didn't either.
I've still got my original Ecto 1 from the 80s in storage. Hopefully it hasn't yellowed, but if it has, I know how to rebrighten it. But the toys, man, yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's a few more toys coming out. We know we've got another wave of figures because, like you said, Phoebe hasn't been released.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I still think there's something major tied to her figure. I think that's the only reason why we haven't seen her box.
Yeah.
I hope we get a Mr. Gruberson.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd love to have that. And I'm not the world's biggest Paul Rudd fan, but.
Well, this is also my fan theory. What if the Sentinel is his figure? Like what me and Kevin was talking about. What if that is his figure?
Oh. Let's think on that a little bit. Yeah.
I don't want to think on it much. I want to walk. I'm kind of like what you were, Jessica, before this.
Yeah.
Before this trailer, I want to walk into this and not know anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to figure it out. I don't care. I want to go in and be amazed with this movie, just like we were when we were kids. We were amazed by Ghostbusters, and to begin with, we had no idea what it was.
Well, and Jason Reitman has alluded to the fact that this movie is a mystery. It's a mystery in itself. And even the second trailer that we were given still creates that mystery.
Yep.
There's still a lot of mystery to this movie.
Yep.
So the hard part about this is from now until the time the movie comes out, there are going to be people that are coming and figuring out theories and things like that. The thing is some of those theories are going to be right.
Yeah.
So you're just going to have to just don't partake. If you don't want to spoil it, just don't go seeking out all this, all the theories and things like that, because
no, I'm not going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, you're going to go to the movie and you're either going to be like, ha, or you're going to be like, man, I wish I'd known that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're all going to take something away from that trailer on what we think and what are we seeing here and what does it mean. But
I don't think they overexposed us to anything there. Like you said, the trailer itself just made it more of a mystery, which I honestly thought that Hollywood had forgotten how to do that with trailers, because it's like, we got to make sure we get as many butts in the seats in the theaters this weekend. So let's tell them the whole plot of the third act.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, don't do that. I mean, just showing the potential of having Gozer coming out of the hole in the trailer. I thought that might have been a little much, but we still don't know. I mean,
that could have been a dream sequence. For all
I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah. And speaking to your point, Kevin, Jungle Cruise did a really good job. Everything you see in the trailers, everything leading up to Jungle Cruise was in the first few minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That movie was a complete mystery the rest of the way, which was awesome. So I think Sony's doing the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Because, you saw, and I was really glad for that too, because it left us at the end of seeing Jungle Cruise going, wow, that's not what I had expected. That's not what I had planned, and I'm glad. It was better than I had anticipated.
Yeah, that's been such a complaint from moviegoers for so long, that so much has revealed on the trailers. Hopefully, Hollywood's getting their heads out of their butts about that and realizing not everybody wants to know everything at the beginning.
Yeah.
Give us some thrill. Give us some excitement. Give us something to look forward to when we sit down to watch this movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a good time to segue, but there was another movie that just came out that
you just stole my thunder.
There was another movie. Then I'll do it this time. There was another movie that came out this weekend, The Suicide Squad, which is a sequel to the original Suicide Squad movie that came out not too long. How many years back was it?
2017.
So that sounds about right.
So and even that. I mean, I don't know whether Bo and I are the only ones who've seen this at this point. And obviously, we're going to try to stay as non-spoilery as we can. But even that one, the trailer didn't really ruin much of anything.
No,
good.
No, not really. Not really. Like you
nothing.
Yeah, and there's. I'm trying to think. There might be one or two quick images from later in the movie in the trailer, but overall, it's just you. And like I said, I would segue into the trailer and the movie. Be prepared for a curveball in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yes.
Well, good.
With the trailer,
no, Bo, that's not a curveball. That's somebody taking a baseball and smacking you in the face with it.
Yeah.
I mean, like hitting you directly in the face with it. Yeah, that's what that was.
Every expectation, what you think you're going to see, like I said, just roll with it.
Okay.
Because that's what I say. What I said earlier. There's a lot of people who are very free. Their minds made up. Oh, this is a DC movie, so I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah. It's like the original Suicide Squad movie. Well, I didn't like that one because it got to where it was just running and it just it was too long, and this movie doesn't have that problem. The pacing is really well done. There's only a couple parts in there that are even slow, but they even make sense. And there's a lot of Harley Quinn.
And the thing about it, I still have yet to watch Birds of Prey, but there's like, this is, and the cool thing about Harley is kind of she's kind of come full circle. Like the cool thing about it is she's very much traditional Harley with a lot of modern Harley. I know which you're going to be, you're the more traditional style, which she has a lot of that to her. But like also she's kind of grown as a character to kind of like, you see why she is the way she is. Because there's one particular scene I'm like something that discussed it with Kevin, but later on in the movie where she kind of, she gets to turn loose and be Harley, and it is so wonderful. Okay, you're gonna enjoy it.
Good.
But the thing about this movie is it does the same thing. It takes itself seriously and doesn't take itself seriously at the same time.
That's James Gunn.
Well,
yeah, that's the brilliant of him. Yeah.
Speaking of James Gunn, the biggest thing that I was afraid of with this movie was that I was going to go in and start watching it and be like, okay, James Gunn just took his Marvel stamp, and he put some fresh ink on it from DC, and then just said, "This is what DC wants. They want a piece of Marvel," and then he just stamped it. He did not do that.
Nope.
It still feels like a DC movie, but guys, it's good. Like,
there's a crazy thing about that. There's a lot of things in this movie people ask for. They say they want online. They want a diverse cast. This movie has an incredible diverse cast.
Yeah.
And these are all, and the cool thing about it is, they may have made some changes or whatever, but these are like just, some majority of them are obscure bad guys or various characters to the DC universe. But everybody who plays their characters, they give you something to remember, and they're really good. Like Ernest Elba is not replacing Will Smith's Deadshot character. His Bloodsport character, they're very similar. But I want you to tell you, like, you're really gonna like. Everyone says you want Ernest Elba to be James Bond. Forget that.
Yeah,
this right here is what you need to see Ernest Elba be. He gets to be his own thing. There's no tethered, previous version of this character done. He acts his butt off in this movie.
Okay.
And the way they did this, Will Smith could potentially come back as Deadshot.
Yes, exactly. Too. Yeah.
It's not like like you said, he didn't replace him. It's two totally separate characters, and it just turned out that this character was even just as awesome as what we saw in Suicide Squad. So, I mean, the diversity and what you were talking about, Bo, with the diversity, that blows Marvel away. I mean, there's little. I don't know anything comic that could be more diverse than this. It was insane the amount of even that freaking Pete Davidson.
Yes, there's something for everybody in this movie.
Okay,
and I would tell you the craziest thing, the obscure characters are what you're going to enjoy. Like I promise you guys, I can't wait to hear your guys' interpretation of Polka Dot Man.
Oh my gosh,
Polka Dot Man! You're going to just go. You're like, all right.
What's the actor's name that plays him? David.
I feel so bad I can't think. But he always plays this dry.
I ever remember him is from Dark Knight.
Yeah,
where he was the one who escaped from the
exactly. That's the first time I'd ever seen him, and I was like, I liked him in that, but then he came back around in Ant-Man. So
he's great. Also, for me being the wrestling fan, John Cena's Peacemaker,
dude. John Cena needs to keep getting.
Bo is biting his knuckles.
It is so good because he is John Cena as Peacemaker, but it's the cool thing about just his character is very good. Like he is 211 the whole time.
Yes.
Forgive me, I have to say it. So you can see him in this movie.
Yes, you can see him.
Okay. Sorry.
He disabled it to be Peacemaker.
Oh no!
Yeah.
He wanted to make sure that you could see him, so he wears a chrome dome almost the entire time.
Yeah,
which he constantly gets made fun of about.
Yeah,
by the way, that is no spoilers. You can just assume that.
I liked James Gunn did a quick interview where somebody asked him, with that thing being so shiny, how did you shoot, not seeing the cameras and the sets and everything? And James we had to be really creative to take care of that reflection.
They actually used that at some point.
Yeah, there's a great shot later in the movie. You guys, you'll know when you get to
where they actually do the shot in the reflection of the back of it.
Yeah, it's like from a cinematic standpoint, it's an incredible shot.
I mean, we're talking like a nomination of cinematography.
Like the whole time I was watching, I was like, holy crap, that is awesome.
Okay. All right.
Guys, seriously, this movie's phenomenal.
We should have went to go see this.
Also,
this is what we get for being old and being in Atlanta all day, and then be just like, I'm not leaving the house today.
also, one of the awesome things about this movie, this being a James Gunn movie, soundtrack.
Oh,
so
I bet
there's no doubt.
This whole movie. Oh, you'll know it's perfect. And like as soon as you see the WB shield and the song they're playing, opening up to it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's
like, this is
so
James
good.
Gunn.
Yeah, I don't want to tell you the song because that's what makes it so special.
Okay. Speaking of opening songs, really quickly, Bo, have you seen Black Widow yet?
No, I have not.
Okay.
It don't matter.
The opening song is a cover of Nirvana. It just Smells Like Teen Spirit.
That's what I've heard. I saw somebody brought that up. I need to look that cover up. I've heard it's really
haunting, and it is hauntingly beautiful.
Beautiful.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll look that up afterwards. But and I was trying to think
one thing I wanted to note about James Gunn and his soundtrack is, unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, I didn't feel like the soundtrack drove this movie. It was there, and it was still James Gunn's. You knew it was him just by the soundtrack. Mm-hmm. I mean, you knew it was him. It's like, this is just what he does with comic book movies. Yeah. So it's like that was his signature on the movie, other than the cinematography, obviously. But that was a signature. But unlike Guardians of the Galaxy, where it was very, very prominent in this, that was one of the things he changed. With it. Okay. He kept with the tone of DC being a little heavier hitting, darker. It is definitely heavier hitting and darker. Yes, a lot.
Be prepared. There is if you're a little squeamish to certain things, there are a couple of things you're going to be like, but like I said, this is R-rated Guardians. Yeah, it's R-rated Guardians.
Yeah.
So I'm just fair warning you there. You're gonna be sometimes you're gonna be laughing your butt off, then you're gonna be like, oh my god, that was horrible. But then you're back to laughing your butt off.
Okay.
I mean, this is what you would expect from DC, basically.
Well, that's I would expect nothing but a stellar soundtrack from both James Gunn and Quentin Tarantino are known for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they utilize soundtracks better than anybody in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm. But let me think, just going back to talking to John Cena, every actor in this movie, acted their butt off. Like, you're very sympathetic to each one of the characters. Even
Weasel?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
All I've seen is lit glass.
You say what you will about the original Suicide Squad, Viola Davis, she is so perfect as Amanda Waller.
Oh, she was good in the first movie.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait till you watch this one. She's full Amanda Waller in this movie.
I hadn't seen many trailers or anything of this. I'd seen the original, and I've forgotten that she actually came back as Amanda Waller. Mm-hmm. And when I saw her, I actually got giddy because she made such an impact. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, I'm not a fan of the original Suicide Squad movie.
Right.
I went back and watched it again, and I was like, they could have cut 45 minutes out of this movie.
Easily.
It would have been much better. But she is just evil. But she's just like, and her and another character in the movie have a lot in common, and Yeah.
Okay.
And once you guys, and granted, I'm sure anybody that's listening to this has seen the movie, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's that person. But as soon as you guys watch the movie, you'll see it. I mean, yeah.
Are we going to try to watch it on the TV, or are we going to try to go to the movies?
Look, we got the kids coming up this weekend, and we're not taking them to that.
We can't take them to that.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's also.
We're going to have to work something out here.
If they take it out of IMAX, that's where I want to see it. Mm-hmm. If they take it out of IMAX before we can get to it this week, I'm going to resign myself to watching it on HBO Max because I want to see it. I want to see it, and I don't want it spoiled for me. So
it's a fun movie. It's like it's just enjoy. Like I said, I'm going to tell you. Like I said, just take all your DC notions and just enjoy this movie.
Well, I mean, the thing is you can expect it. Like both said, you can expect it to be dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it is. It's DC. DC's kind of styled themselves as the adult Marvel. Mm-hmm. That's the way they do things, everything. I mean, we got, the Batman coming up probably next year. That's going to be, Robert Pattinson beating the ever-living crap out of people. I mean, it's going to be amazing. But I mean, that's just what Warner Brothers, that's the path they've chosen with all their comic book properties, is to be more adult. And this movie, it's like their manifesto. Mm-hmm. It really is. I mean, it's like, all the minor characters that you either didn't know who they were, or it was just like they existed just for an action figure, but they get their time to shine.
Yeah.
and it's just it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
And James Gunn got to do it. It is beautiful.
Yeah, when we had stopped by when we were in Atlanta, and we had a chance to stop by and see Craig and Abby for just a few minutes before she had to jet off to work. But Craig told us at that point, like, Abby had already watched it, like 3 times already?
3 or 4 times on Saturday. Yeah.
He was like,
fun.
what are you doing? I'm watching Suicide Squad again.
She was like up at 5:30 in the morning. He walked in there. He was like, "What are you doing up so early?" He's like, "I'm watching it again."
So.
Speaking of comics, Bo, I bought my comic book.
Oh, nice. What'd you pick up?
I had to get it. The new the first issue of Batman 89.
Oh, yes. I need to go get that.
That just came out, and I'm seeing rave reviews on it. The comic book stores that I used to frequent up here are all gone. Yep. They're shut down. Mm-hmm. So Midtown Comics online, the Midtown up in New York, I ordered it. So it should be arriving. I got a shipment notice a couple days ago.
I need to order online. Yeah, much as I love 89. Speaking of which, the Flashback Cinema is doing that movie here in a couple weeks.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, they are doing 89. They do it at the Amstar in Anniston. They do that. They do the Flashback Cinema whatever program type thing.
Okay.
So they're doing 89. I want to say like in a couple weeks, and it's both days I work, so I'm going to miss out on it.
Of course.
Yeah, but the family and I are going Wednesday to watch the Iron Giants, so there's that.
Oh, yeah.
In Anniston or Alabaster?
Alabaster.
Okay.
I was about to say that's going to be a.
Yeah, Anniston's got a.
Yeah, that would be
Oxford's got an Amstar,
right?
Yeah, Amstar. Yeah,
Oxford.
I may have said Anniston, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Anniston or Alabaster, if I've,
I'm like, hey, we're driving over there to pick up the kids. We drive through Anniston, so might as well.
But I want to say Batman 89 was one of the upcoming ones that were supposed to be done. Mm. I'll try to send you the link later on.
Such a beautiful movie.
Yeah. Oh, you know me. I'm going to gush over it.
So, well, guys, I think we have had a great time tonight. Anything else you guys want to touch on before we sign off for another couple of weeks?
Nope. I think I'm good over here on this part of the couch over here.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have anything else to touch on. I think I've tapped out.
Yeah, I think I rambled a little too much this episode. My apologies.
I want to go watch Suicide Squad again now.
Yeah, I may have to fall asleep watching it. In a good way.
Turn Beavis and Butthead back on and watch the videos as I fall asleep tonight. Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be with all of us. We absolutely love you and appreciate you spending your last almost couple of hours with us. And hit us up on the social medias, because that's grammatically correct.
Hit us up on that there Facebook and Instagram stuff.
Yeah, one of them there technical things. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Bama Geeks, YouTube. Look us up, Bama Geeks. It is the audio version of this podcast, and you can find this podcast wherever you download. If you get us on Apple, please head on over there to iTunes. Give us a 5-star review rating. We certainly appreciate it. We looked at the download numbers before we came on this evening, and we certainly appreciate the support. Yes. There are a lot of downloads, and we thank you, and we always appreciate all of our friends who reach out to us personally on Facebook and everything, just to joke around with us. I think Kevin Brooks posted on my page another peanut butter solution
sure did.
meme the other night. So
keep it going, Kevin. Keep it going.
Yes. Keep peanut butter solution alive, please. So I think it was a picture of the senor.
It was.
Yes.
Yeah. Senor.
We appreciate the interaction, and we appreciate you guys hanging with us. And like I said, if you want to give us a 5-star review, we certainly appreciate it. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to email us, bamageeks@gmail.com, you can get us that way. We're going to say goodnight. We're going to call it because work beckons early in the morning.
Yay.
Yeehaw.
Woohoo.
Woo.
So say bye, guys.
Good night. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Have a great Wednesday, because if you're listening to us, it's a Wednesday.
And may the force be with you.
Always. So
always.
We'll catch you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.